Okay, let's unpack this. You know that feeling, right? When you interact with a company, maybe online, maybe calling support, and you just kind of expect them to get you, to know your history, your preferences, maybe even guess what you need next.
Yeah, those expectations are definitely higher than ever.
And trying to meet them with the old CRM tools, it
Yeah,
feels like trying to, I don't know, navigate the internet with a paper map. It just doesn't really work anymore.
exactly. And that gap, that's precisely why we're seeing this huge transformation happening right now. So this deep dive, we're focusing on one of the biggest shifts in business, really, how artificial intelligence is changing customer relationship management CRM.
And by extension, the whole customer experience they deliver.
Critically, yes, the whole experience.
And this isn't just guesswork, is it? We've been digging into the articles and notes you shared, all about AI's, well, exploding role in CRM.
That's right. And the picture they paint is pretty compelling.
So our mission here is to kind of cut through the noise,
Yeah.
pull out the really important nuggets from this material, and figure out what it all means, not just for businesses, but, for you listening.
Definitely. And what jumps out immediately, looking at the sources, is just how widespread this is already. It points out that something like 91% of companies are already using AI in their CRM somehow.
91%, wow.
Yeah. And 42%, a big chunk, have fully integrated it. It's not some far-off future thing.
It's here now.
It's here now. And it's changing what CRM even is. It started as just basic databases, basically.
Like a digital Rolodex.
Pretty much. And now it's evolving into something, well, intelligent, proactive, almost intuitive.
Okay, so how does AI actually make CRM intuitive? What are the big shifts the sources talk about? Sounds like maybe 5 key transformations.
That's right, 5 core areas. And the first one really hits on those high expectations you mentioned. Hyper-personalization at scale. This is the idea that companies can actually treat you, specifically you, as an individual, even if they have millions of customers.
Which sounds almost impossible without AI. How does the tech manage that one-to-one feeling?
Well, the core is predictive analytics. AI algorithms can sift through just enormous amounts of data about you. Your past purchases, how you browse their website, maybe past support chats, things like that.
Right.
And they use that to build these incredibly detailed profiles.
So it's not just storing the data, it's actively interpreting it, understanding what you might do next.
Exactly. And that understanding drives real things you see as a customer, like product suggestions you might actually want, or content that seems relevant to where you are right now, or even just timing an email for when you're likely to see it.
Hmm. And for the companies themselves, what's the benefit for, say, the sales and marketing teams having that insight?
Oh, the material is very clear on this. It gives them these really rich lead profiles, forecasts of behavior. It's not guesswork anymore. It's actual intelligence. And that leads to higher engagement, better conversion rates.
And hopefully happier, more loyal customers because they feel understood.
Precisely. AI takes those static records and makes them dynamic, turns them into real intelligence for personal interactions every single time.
Okay, so AI makes interactions personal, but what about all the boring, repetitive stuff that just eats up time for the teams?
That leads us straight into the second big transformation: intelligent automation of routine tasks. This is where AI gives a massive efficiency boost by just taking over those time-consuming admin jobs.
Like what sort of tasks? The real grunt work.
Pretty much, yeah. The sources mention things like automatically updating customer records after you talk to them, or scoring leads based on how engaged they seem,
Wow.
scheduling follow-up emails, routing support tickets to the right person automatically, that kind of thing.
Okay, that sounds like it frees up a lot of human time. So what do the people do instead?
That's exactly the point. It lets the sales reps, the support agents, focus on the stuff that needs a human touch. Building actual relationships, having those complex consultative conversations, solving tricky problems, thinking strategically.
Right, the higher value work.
Exactly. And the material actually cites some compelling stats here. Businesses using this AI automation in CRM report something like a 29% increase in sales productivity.
29%, wow.
And a 25% boost in customer satisfaction. That's a direct impact.
A quarter jump in satisfaction just by automating the boring bits. That's significant. Okay, so AI helps with personalization and efficiency. What about looking ahead, predicting things?
Well, that brings us nicely to the third transformation: advanced predictive and prescriptive analytics. This is a really fundamental shift CRM stops being just a record of what happened.
And becomes more like a crystal ball.
Sort of, more like a compass for the future. It uses machine learning ML and natural language processing NLP to analyze just tons of data, pulling from purchase history, website behavior, social media, emails, chats, all of it.
Okay, so it's finding patterns humans probably couldn't spot easily.
Exactly. And from all that analysis, it produces more than just standard reports. It generates predictive insights, like educated guesses about what might happen next,
Let's just ask.
such as identifying which customers seem likely to leave, or maybe forecasting sales trends in a specific region.
Okay, that's useful.
But the real power, arguably, is the prescriptive guidance. This is where the AI actually suggests the best course of action based on those predictions.
Whoa, okay, so it doesn't just say this customer might leave. It might suggest reach out to them this way with this offer.
That's the idea. Exactly. And that capability means companies can do much better customer segmentation for campaigns, for example, or proactively reach out to solve a problem before it blows up and get much, much more accurate sales forecasts.
That sounds like a huge strategic edge. It really shifts CRM from being reactive to proactive.
A growth engine.
That's a good way to put it. A proactive growth engine.
Okay, so we've got personalization, automation, prediction, but customer interactions, they involve feelings, right? Emotion. Can AI really get a handle on how someone feels?
Well, this is where the fourth transformation comes in. Sentiment analysis and emotional intelligence. AI is starting to help CRM platforms understand the emotional context, not just the facts. Okay, that sounds complex. How does it even start to do that?
The main technology here is sentiment analysis. It uses NLP to look at text or maybe voice transcripts for clues about tone, urgency, emotion. It tries to categorize communications, emails, chats, social media posts as, generally positive, negative, or neutral.
The material mentioned an example, right? Pobuca Zemark. How does that work?
Yeah, the Pobuca Zemark example gives a good picture. It's described as an AI assistant that scans customer messages specifically looking for those sentiment cues. So it detects negativity or frustration, maybe impatience.
It flags it.
It can flag it automatically, yeah. Or prioritize that conversation for a human agent to jump on quickly.
Ah, okay. So it's like an early warning system for unhappiness based on how people are actually writing or talking.
Pretty much. And the impact can be really significant. It lets businesses step in and fix things before a small frustration turns into a lost customer.
Adds a layer of emotional awareness, even if it's machine-driven.
Exactly, to the whole customer support process.
Okay, so AI is making CRM personal, automated, predictive, and even emotionally aware. What's the fifth piece?
The fifth piece is continuous learning and optimization. This really speaks to AI's core strength. It keeps getting better based on new data.
Like the system is constantly teaching itself from experience.
That's the idea, yes. These AI-powered CRMs are built to constantly take in real-time data from every interaction. That data feeds back into the system, creating this continuous loop where the AI learns and refines its own models.
And how does that learning show up? How does it make the CRM better?
Well, the sources talk about how this machine learning process helps refine things like lead scoring models. So it gets better at spotting the really promising leads based on what actually led to sales before. It improves marketing campaign targeting by learning which messages work best for which groups. It can also make the system's recommendations better, suggesting to an agent the best response or the next best action to take with a customer.
So every interaction basically makes the system a little bit smarter for the next interaction.
That's the goal. Continuous improvement baked in.
Right. So just to recap, hyper-personalization, intelligent automation, advanced analytics, predictive and prescriptive, sentiment analysis, and this continuous learning loop. That's a powerful mix.
Yeah.
But putting something like this into a real business, that can't be simple, right? There must be challenges.
Oh, absolutely. The benefits are huge, potentially transformative, but the material is also quite realistic about the hurdles companies face.
What are the main ones that came up?
Well, the first big one is data privacy and governance. AI needs vast amounts of data to work well, and that immediately raises red flags about protecting customer information. Companies absolutely need strong rules and processes, and they have to adhere to regulations like GDPR. That's non-negotiable.
And the quality of that data matters too, right? Garbage in, garbage out.
Exactly. Which leads straight to the second challenge, data quality and integration. If your data is messy, incomplete, inaccurate, inconsistent, or if it's stuck in different systems that don't talk to each other.
Silos.
Right, silos. That can seriously undermine the AI's accuracy and usefulness. Getting data clean and connected is a major, often underestimated task.
Okay, data privacy, data quality, what else? Even with perfect tech and data, people have to use it.
And that's the third key challenge highlighted: training and change management. You can roll out the most amazing AI tools, but if your team doesn't understand how to use them or maybe doesn't trust the insights,
Then it's wasted investment.
pretty much. So, really good training programs and carefully managing that whole transition process are vital for people to actually adopt the tools and for the company to see a real return. Tackling these challenges is just as critical as picking the right tech.
Makes sense. So AI is doing a lot now. Companies are grappling with these practical issues. But it sounds like we're still just scratching the surface. What did the sources suggest about the future of AI and CRM?
The future vision painted is one where CRM becomes truly intelligent, much more autonomous where it makes sense, and just completely focused on the customer experience. It's a world away from the old view of CRM as just, a place to log calls or manage sales pipelines.
So where are we on that journey today, and what's coming next down the line?
Well, today, as the sources point out, AI is already enabling things like that hyper-personalized service in real time. It's feeding strategic insights directly to leadership dashboards, and it's giving frontline staff these intelligent tools to guide their interactions. That's happening now.
And looking further ahead, what do the sources hint at?
As the AI gets more sophisticated, we can probably expect much deeper integration of conversational AI. Think chatbots or virtual assistants that can handle really complex issues from start to finish. Maybe more advanced virtual sales assistants helping with complex deals, more nuanced real-time emotion tracking during calls or chats,
Hmm.
and marketing that adapts truly instantly based on context, dynamic in-the-moment stuff.
The conclusion from the material seemed pretty strong about how vital this is becoming.
It really did. The key message was that looking towards 2025, AI in CRM isn't a nice to have anymore. It's becoming a necessity. It's seen as the core engine driving customer engagement from just being transactional to being truly relational transformational.
So the takeaway is companies need to get on board now.
Essentially, yes. To stay competitive, to build those smarter, stronger connections. AI is framed as the strategic ally needed to deliver truly world-class customer experiences going forward.
Okay, that covers a huge amount of ground. We've seen how AI is really fundamentally changing CRM personalization, automation, prediction, sentiment, learning, and we've touched on those real-world hurdle data, training, change management.
And it definitely leaves us with a pretty interesting question to chew on, doesn't it?
Absolutely. If the big goal here is using AI to build more human-centric relationships, but the tools themselves are becoming more autonomous and capable of things like real-time emotion tracking, how do businesses actually strike that balance? How do they leverage all that efficiency and intelligence without losing genuine empathy and trust? That feels like a really key tension to watch as this tech keeps